Nobody obviously wants to sit in the road, but the best way to bring about rapid social change is through civil disobedience. So lots of people breaking the law gets attention on an issue. We know we shouldn't be doing this, but if you're upset about that, how do you feel about this thing?
To get a knock on that door for government, to get some action, unfortunately one has to be disruptive. Other things don't work.
I question anybody that suggests that this is an extreme response. This is disproportionately small compared to the scale of the threat that we're facing.
We can appreciate tempers might be flaring if you're stuck in traffic, but have a chat and listen. Take away the leaflet, go on the website and just find some facts on there. Discuss them, debate them, challenge them by all means if you want to, but you'll be surprised, you'll find out.
You bury your head in the sand and it's more likely you're going to just lose all those things you love anyway, so let's get started, shall we? This is a good plan.
It's not the most exciting thing in the world, but it's just necessary. If we're going to deal with the climate crisis, one of the first things we have to do is insulate homes.
Thousands of people a year die of fuel poverty, that they are not able to turn up the heat of their homes because they've got to make a decision between putting food on their table. That in itself is something to act on, and governments, if they cared, would be doing that anyway. But on the other side of the coin, the consequences of inefficient houses is the CO2, and that's a killer for our children and grandchildren.
Investing in insulation gives us the biggest return on our money. So it creates loads of jobs, it gets loads of people out of fuel poverty. So we're trying to point out the hypocrisy in our government that says that they're leading the way on these issues when they're just not.
People get held up on the motorways every single day. It's a risk. When you get into the car, there could be all kinds of reasons. There could be accidents, breakdown, Of course, it's a different thing. They see people coming out and they think, oh, these people have it in for us, or they hate us, or they just want to stop us doing what we want to do. That's not the truth. That may be what the media says, the mainstream media, but that's not the truth.
I would have put myself in the category of any protesters. What the hell are you doing? Get a bloody job. All of those. I'm now on the other side of the fence.
The media and the government rely on each other, so they kind of work together. So if you're fighting the government, you're also fighting the press, even if you're fighting for something good for everyone, like insulation.
It is incredible, believe it, how much the media does manipulate things. I've seen things on the news already where clips have already been edited.
I think 5 billionaires own all of the newspapers. They control the narrative, undoubtedly for selfish reasons.
Okay, people don't want to believe that, they don't want to hear that. The other week I was out with someone, an elderly lady, one of her friends, her daughter had been policing Extinction Rebellion in London for 2 weeks and was almost at the jugular for me of my daughter hasn't seen her kids for 3 weeks, she's a policeman, and yeah, my heart bled, I'm a parent, I understand that. 5 minutes of conversation and the feedback I got wasn't Biff fantastic, what a great fun, I understand it. And it's because she had never actually taken the time through circumstance and networks of friends and the groups that we mix with, never to have actually sat down and found out a little bit some of the evidence, some of the facts, and to find out I'm a human being. I'm not someone out there sticking 2 fingers up at hard-working people. I am a hard-working person.
I was working in the NHS doing shift works, night shifts, all hours a day, long shifts, 12-hour days, to finance my master's course, which was psychotherapy. So I was basically working 7-day weeks to get to where I am now.
Left school at 16. Since then, I've done a variety of interesting jobs, always done quite well. I would put myself in the category of a workaholic. I knew that I wanted to make this commitment. I wanted to put my liberty on the line because I feel so strongly that this government needs to sort things out for us. And I wrote a note, explained that I was going to get arrested under non-violent civil disobedience because of concerns around CO2 and about insulating the country as much as I told them. And I was told you can have 3 months off. This is a national UK high street chain. They respect that I'm out there doing that and putting my liberty on the line, and my job's waiting for me in 3 months' time. So I'm able to do this and go back to work and continue contributing taxes into this country as well.
I don't want to do any of this. I would much rather have my evenings to myself, buy myself a house and have some kids. That's all I want to do, is just have a family and a normal life. But you can't pretend you don't know what you know. I would only be lying to myself.
I've made a big personal sacrifice to be here. If we don't make sacrifices now, you know, the future's going to be so much worse. That's what I believe. We're going to lose so much more. So that's the choice that I make.
My mum's very ill at the minute. She's got terminal cancer, but I've spoken to her loads and she is happy for me to go ahead and do it. And I think it will be okay as long as I'm not in prison for months. I should be all right. But I am really fucking terrified that she's going to die while I'm in prison, and that would be really awful.
People who come to me for support, that was the hardest decision for me to make. I hope they'll understand, and I hope that if they have questions, if they see this video, or you know, they see me somewhere in the news, that we'll be able to talk about it. But they know that I wouldn't have been able to work if I hadn't have been here.
Once we're successful, and we will keep going until we're successful, the whole thing will go away. It's a job that needs doing, and we're going to keep throwing our bodies at the tank until it gets done, effectively.
It's all very well sitting there and saying, what are you going to do about China? Yeah, well, for a start, we could start buying less stuff that's consumed in China. Okay, it's a big change for us. But at the end of the day, if everyone's going to sit there, if every government's going to sit there and say, we're not going to be first, we're screwed. We're fucked.